Hey everyone, it's summertime. I'm your host, Summer Hill, and today we are here with Madison Star, rapper, fashion designer, and doula. Today we really get into her experience growing up in the industry, her journey through Howard and after Howard, and what she thinks on modern day art. Is there anything you want to add, Madison?
It's summertime, baby. You don't want to miss this one.
Hey everyone, it's summertime, and I am your host, Summer Hill. And today, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this one. This is big. We are here with fashion designer and rapper Madison Star. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
What?
I appreciate it.
What?
Girl, it's been a long time coming. I feel like we've been
Yes.
talking about this forever, and it's finally here.
Yes, I'm very grateful. When you reached out to me, I was like, oh my gosh. And I've been wanting to do more stuff like
Oh,
this.
good.
So this opportunity was just perfect.
Yeah.
And us both being at Howard at the same time.
Yes.
It meant a lot to me.
Yeah, no.
It did.
Yeah, so I think being at Howard together, I was really able to I just feel like you move with such genuine character. Like, I've always fucked with it. Like, I think I remember the first time we ever chatted, it was outside Blackburn. And it was just like hey, what's up, girl? Like, it was just so easy. And I was like, oh, okay, I like her.
Yes.
But the reason I reached out for this episode was because I saw your freestyle. And I was like, hold on, we gotta get that. We gotta get that on
I'm with
here.
that. Okay.
So yeah, I want to hear your whole journey, but first I gotta let them know that you made this.
Yes.
She made me this custom fit.
Okay.
Show them the back. I really
Oh
like
my
it.
gosh, yes. What? You see the chain? Come on, y'all. Madison Star Couture is for the girls.
Yes, we're gonna
Literally.
get into that
Yes.
too. But okay, so you're from New York.
Yes, Mount Vernon, New York.
Mount Vernon. Okay, so
Mhm.
when people are like, where are you from? Do you say New York City or do you say Mount Vernon? What do you say?
Mount Vernon, money earning. You got to. I feel like at the end of the day, like if you're from New York is New York. Like you could say, oh, like New York City, whatever, whatever. New York City is New York City. Mount Vernon, 914 Westchester, we're our own thing too. but
Where
we all
is
New York.
that?
Like, so okay. So say like the Bronx, and then this is
Oh,
Mount
okay.
Vernon, and then Yonkers is probably like right
Oh,
here. I don't know
okay.
if that makes sense to you.
Uh-huh.
And then New Rochelle. So I was raised in Westchester.
Okay.
Yes, and that's Westchester.
Oh, okay,
914.
okay, got you. Because I lived in Bushwick for a second.
You did?
Yeah, in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm sorry, New York. I was like, I can't hang with y'all. Y'all are the big dogs for real.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't. Like, it was just so much. It was so fast. I was overstimulated. How was it growing up in that environment?
For me, I would say I had a good balance of both. Like I definitely grew up in a fast-paced environment in terms of the industry. But I would say like my hometown, it was always my peace, was always my solace because
Okay.
where I'm from, it's like my family moved there because I'm Japanese and Jamaican on my mom's
Oh,
side.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So like
Okay.
when they came from Japan and Jamaica, they lived in Mount Vernon. So we're talking 3 generations. So when I'm there, I'm not Madison Star as the
Right.
world sees me. I'm Christine's granddaughter. You know what I mean? I'm Niece's
Yeah.
daughter. Like, you know what I
Aw.
mean? So that always kept me humble.
Mhm.
And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for like the way I was raised because my mom stayed true to like where we were from.
So Japan and Jamaica. So
Mhm.
those are your grandparents?
My great grandparents.
Great grandparents. How did
Mhm.
they meet?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my great grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman. His
Oh,
picture is actually
wow.
at Tuskegee
Oh
University.
wow!
And he
That is
was
so
in
cool.
World War II.
Mhm.
And then he was out there. And he
Okay.
met my great grandmother.
And brought her back.
And my grandmother was actually born in Japan. And then last year I went to Japan for the first time.
How was No, I saw that. I want to go to Japan. How was that?
Girl, like when I say life changing,
Really?
honestly, because also too, I'm reconnecting with my heritage and my lineage and the matriarchs in my family and where they come from and being able to sit in front of my family's altar and all that. Now I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a little woo-woo. I'm a spiritual person. So like
As you should be.
you know, because I see God's grace in my life. And I'm like, me of all people was chosen to have this life and to know the things that I know and to be able to share that with the world. That's special. And with all of my creativity, like I always start with God 1st. And not in like a way of like, not in a superficial way, but what is God? Like, what do I feel more so, you know? And I knew going out there, I shot music videos, I worked, like, yeah, like it was a whole
Did you see any
thing.
family?
Yes, and I met them. And then they came, I performed, they came.
No way. So
Girl.
they like really embraced you and welcomed you.
They said to me, we're so happy that you had the courage to come and find
That's beautiful.
I could cry right now, but I'm not going to because I
Yeah,
I
that's
cried already.
beautiful. Do you speak
Yeah.
Japanese at all?
No, I wish.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Did
I
you go by
wish.
yourself?
Well, kind of sort of not really, because my aunt, her
Okay.
sons, like it's like my play aunt,
Mhm.
but that's my aunt nonetheless. And
Mhm.
her sons were going out there, and she was like, "You need to go with them." And she just
Mm.
kept saying like, "You need to go with them." She's been working with my mom for years, and like
Okay.
she's awesome. Shout out to my aunt Tammy. So, and her sons do like videography.
Okay.
What am I trying to say?
Videography.
Videography. Excuse me. Okay, videography. So I was like, okay, like I'll go. And then it was like, yeah, we'll
And
support
just
me,
booked the flight and went. I
girl.
love that. You had to send me your itinerary because I want to go to Japan so bad. But
Okay.
I want to like go to different, different cities, take the train,
All
check it
right.
all out.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And trust me, a bunch of things actually had to happen for that to happen.
Mm.
And I didn't realize until like it happened.
That's
And
how it be.
yeah, right.
That's
Like I'm
how
like,
it
I didn't
be.
even know that this was coming. But now that I look back, I'm like, oh God, I see exactly what you're doing.
The
Why I did
steps
this,
you
this, this.
ordered.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why I say you got to start with God first. Like
Okay.
everything happens with that in mind as well. You know, first. Try to do too much is gonna always be too
Yeah,
much.
if it starts off bad, it's gonna end bad. I always say that. That's one thing
Okay.
I learned. But you said
Okay.
you grew up in the industry?
Yeah.
How so?
Because my parents, my mom is a stylist, a
Okay.
celebrity fashion stylist.
Okay.
So, and she's also like, not for nothing, she's like the architect. Like,
I know that's
yeah,
right.
you know what I mean? Like, y'all know.
I
Listen
saw
up
her
to-
in a documentary the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah,
So is that where you get your inspiration from?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's my example my whole life, you know?
So how was it growing up in the industry?
It was cool. Like, I don't know. I don't think you realize you're in it, because like, it's different when you're born in it as opposed to when you get in it because of what you're passionate about or what you do. If you're an artist or a publicist or however you end up working in entertainment, but growing up in it is you don't realize that you're in it until you're older.
I see.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, because
know
then
what I mean?
then you're comparing to like other people's experience. You're like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
So what was that
Like, that's
moment
not
you were
normal.
that
Yeah.
that it hit you like, wait a minute.
Honestly, when I got to Howard, because that was the first time I was outside of my environment. You know what I mean? Like growing up in New York, even moving through New York is just different because also too, like New York, there's a lot of celebrities in New York. So people
Right.
aren't like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, but when you go to other places, they're like, oh shit, that's really da da da. You know? So going to Howard and the way that I was kind of received at Howard, or the conversations or the gossip that I would hear about me made me realize like, oh shit, this is like you know, like
Right.
you know,
This is different.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
that.
Like
I
it's a
feel that.
difference, even if you don't see it.
Right.
People see that in you.
Other people do.
Yeah, because they're like, you know, certain people never had no experiences like that at all. Ever. So it's like, wow, you know? So it humbled me.
I like that.
It humbled me a lot.
So what made you choose Howard?
My brother's father was receiving an honorary doctorate, and I was in like 8th grade. And I had came because siblings and everything, my mom, everybody was there. It was a big thing. So, you know, so we went and I was like, this place is amazing. Like, I loved it. Like, I just thought it was so dope. And I just had a feeling like I'm going to end up here. And it's so crazy because I was probably like, again, 8th grade, not even high school yet. Get to high school, I applied to all these different colleges, and I didn't really remember that I said that until I got accepted into Howard, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm really going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And even, but it's funny because even now going to high school, I was like, oh, I want to go to this school because I know it's going to give me an edge to be able to get into Howard later. I thought that then.
So Howard was always in the back of your head.
And I didn't realize it. It was like, it was almost like placed there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From that experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and just to know that at that age, that there is this world, this HBCU where it's, about, you know, like, especially growing up Black, like, we're always in white spaces no matter what, you know? So there's a space there just where it's like, that was like amazing to me.
Oh, can we talk about that? Because I didn't know about Howard growing up, right? I mean, I heard about it, but it was never like in my head. So the reason I was introduced is because I went on a Black college tour, and we first stop was Howard, and it was raining, like it was nasty out, and I was like, I don't know about this, y'all. But they gave me a free application when I was there, so I'm like, okay, I'll apply, and I got in, and I was like, all right, well, that's the one,
right?
And oh my gosh, when I left, girl, that culture shock was real. I'm like, hold on, I'm back in the real world, and I don't know how to operate in this like world anymore. How did you experience that?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I think it's like we're all living with it, right? As people of color, like it's even if it's like we have friends or whoever, just there's just always gonna be those white spaces. But I'm like, we know what it is. we know to look out for each other.
Mhm.
That's why we're doing this right now, because we
Exactly.
know that. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, so I'm grateful for that. That
Yeah.
the community that now I have because
Mhm.
of Howard, outside of Howard. I feel like that's how we deal with it. We stay connected. We uplift
Yeah.
each other. Like even what you did the
Facts.
other day, bringing the G's, that was fire. And fuck with, oh, excuse me.
Girl,
Forget what they talking about. That was
what?
fire. That was fire. That was fire. They need to see that. They need to know who that legend
Could you
is.
believe
Girl,
that?
but that's the problem. Whenever you do something good, let me tell you, when you about to elevate, that's when everybody start hating.
I
That's
literally
what.
said God must be preparing me for hate that I'm going to get in the future because I was like, there's no way somebody took this positive experience and spun it so
But
bad.
they always do that. That's what people
Always.
do. Look
How
at
do
what
you
they.
deal with it?
Oh,
Because
girl.
I know you probably get it a lot.
Every day is a struggle.
Is it?
Every day is a struggle. Let me be real. Like, and
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, I'm struggling for real because no. But
Mhm.
when you have to manage that energy
Yeah.
and deal with that and remain
Yeah.
humble in that and not let that make you bitter and stay true to your purpose and still shine your light
Girl.
and still be genuine and
Yeah.
still be accountable and still be, that's where it's like, okay, I have to really reach for it, you know? Because with the that level of attention, there is a responsibility. And I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of people try to negate that because they don't have it. But
Mhm.
me, as someone with the a little bit of attention that I do have now and may increase in the future,
And will.
like you have to handle that with a responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But also too, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
So some people just don't know. Some people
Girl. It's just
just
in them.
unhappy.
It's just in them.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I
you ain't
hope
gotta take that
everybody
away.
realizes that is a reflection of them and not
Mhm.
you. Because you know how much it takes to create something, to put these type of things on, and you're doing it.
And to put it out there.
And to put it, hold on.
And like
That courage, girl. The first episode I ever dropped, I was like shaking. I was like, oh my,
I know that feeling.
I'm putting my vulnerable passions into the universe.
Girl.
That scared me.
Okay, it scared me too.
Oh,
And it's always gonna be intimidating, but you can't let the haters stop you because even
yeah.
if you're not me or you, whoever, where you're always gonna have haters. You could be from a 500-person town in Nevada, girl, someone hating on you
Somebody
because they're
is.
unhappy with themselves. So you should
Right.
never let that stop you. And then I feel like attention, where you place your attention, is so powerful
Mhm.
because that's where your energy will flow. That's where your
Mhm.
intention will go.
Mm.
So you got to be discerning about even engaging with it. Cause then it takes you out of your, you know what I
Out of
mean?
your zen.
Yeah, you
That is so
can't,
true. And
you know
then
what
it
I mean?
interrupts your creative process because now you got these thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
'em.
right. Hello.
That's just, yeah. No, I needed to hear. Thank you for that. Thank you for that word. But what did
Yeah.
you major in at Howard?
Fashion design.
Okay. Okay. So you've always wanted to be a fashion designer.
Well, yes and no, because I grew up in fashion, and then like when something's always around you, like say if you ate cheesecake your whole life, you're gonna get tired of cheesecake.
Mhm.
So growing up in fashion and seeing my mom, and then just like, the business of it and everything like that, it kind of turned me off at times
Mm.
because fashion is very political and fashion is racist.
Mhm.
So it's like, and then when I got to Howard, I was a broadcast journalism major.
No
Yes,
way.
ma'am. Yes,
I
ma'am.
didn't know
Mhm.
that.
And then I was like, you know what, girl, if you're gonna wake up every day and go after something, let it be what you really want to do, which was fashion. And even
Mm.
as a little girl, I always wanted to make my own clothes because I
Mm.
never liked to look like anybody else. I
Mhm.
wanted to look like me.
I love that.
You know what I mean? So I always had that dream. And I have other dreams too.
Mhm.
But if I was going to get my degree in something and I didn't know how to design or sew or anything like that, I'm like, let me learn that here. That's what
So
I
you
should be
learned this
doing.
at Howard.
Yes.
Check her out, y'all. Howard taught, period. Look at
Okay.
this.
But now let me say this. Now understanding the business of fashion, I work with
Mm.
seamstresses. I have a team because I need to focus on my business.
Yeah.
And I can't do that while constantly sewing all day. It's just,
Yeah.
and Hanifa also shared that with me as well. Because she did the
Ooh,
same
she poured
thing.
into you a little
Yeah,
bit.
she did. And she was like, you got to take your ego out of it.
Mm.
Check that and allow someone to come help you. So shout out to Naima Sloan Booker,
Mm.
who created this for me.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's
she did
so
that.
important to have mentors and people who are just genuinely wanting to help you in this.
Okay.
Because, girl, this shit can get isolating. It can get lonely. But to have someone who's like, No, I see what you're doing and I believe in you. So let me
Okay.
pour into
And I
you.
have so many, like
Oh,
Marco
good.
Hall. He's my other mentor that I work with him. Every piece, everything with Madison Star Couture, it takes a team.
Mm.
That's what I've learned, and that's when I realized on this journey. Even in my music, even being a doula, it takes a team. Being a person, it takes a village. Hello.
Hello.
So you should never be ashamed of
Community.
having mentors, of having help, of having people who are helping to guide you in this process. Like even shout out to Rhapsody with my music. I check in with her. What do you think about this? My brother Nico, what do you think about this? Having genuine people around you who will pour into you, it's nothing wrong with that. And I'm very grateful because that's how I've been able to accomplish what I've accomplished. I try to do too much any damn way. I need
Girl,
help.
I know. We do. You need a
I need
community.
help. We need community.
But
I
when
need
did you
some
get
help.
into rapping?
Well, I grew up around rappers.
Okay, so it's just always been. It's just always
I
been.
grew up around rappers. We grew up in the studio. I recorded like my first little song. It wasn't no real thing. It's a little song in my dad's home studio. When I
No
was
way.
probably younger than 9 years old. Yes, yes. I grew in the industry.
Yeah.
You know
so
what
it's
I
just
mean?
around you. So it just made sense. So okay, when you did that freestyle, you know which one I'm talking about?
The last one?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? Like what? I saw something come over you. Like you was sitting here and you was like, all right, yeah. And then you stood up. I was like, hold on. So what? How did you get into that pocket?
Honestly, it's just like rapping for me, especially in the freestyle arena, it gives me the chance to be braggadocious and to say the shit that I wouldn't say.
I know
And
that's
you know what I
right.
mean? Like I would never walk around like that.
Mhm.
But that is more so the energy that I'm able to pull out in my writing. And also too, I've always been a writer my whole life. So I always had journals. I still do. Always write. I write everything down. That's how I manifest.
I know that's right.
So it's just like it's a chance for me to express myself in ways that I normally wouldn't. And I'm grateful for that because it helped me find my voice.
Yeah.
It helped me become more confident. And it's been such a challenge because being an artist is like, obviously people are not gonna like what you do. Like even in that video, like there's so many hate comments.
Really?
Yeah, there's so many. And I seen them. And I was just like,
oh my God. We have to stop reading it.
Yeah, we do.
We have to stop.
We do.
But it's like
We do.
I want feedback and I want critiques,
Me too.
but I don't trust y'all creative process, so y'all can't give them to me.
And
So
also
yes,
you
check in
hating.
with your people.
Right.
Check in with your people.
You know what I mean? So I seen all the hate and all of that. And I was just like, damn, like that sucks, but I got to keep going. And you know what I mean? I may not be where I see myself, but I'm going to get there. I always do.
You will.
So
and we're
trust
only
myself.
at the beginning. Like that
Right?
just really inspires me because it's like, look at where we're at
Mhm.
now. Like, imagine like 10 years from now, girl, we're going to be on a big platform having this same conversation. Remember like 10 years ago, we were talking about like, I love moments like that. But I'm really proud of where you are now and
Thank
where you're
you.
going.
Thank
And it's
you.
important to tell your people that.
Okay.
So, okay,
Thank you so
question.
much.
What music now, right?
Mhm,
We
mhm.
have a lot of new artists like Sexy Bread.
Mhm.
What do you think about the art that's coming out these days?
That's a great question.
Especially because you grew up in this. So you've
Yeah.
seen the evolution
Mhm.
closer than a lot of people. What do you think about it?
I love that question. And I feel like art is art. I know that's so redundant, but in a sense that like if it makes people talk to me, it's art. If it invokes conversation, if it inspires people, you know what I mean? Like, so I have respect for all artists who are putting the art out there, period. Now, I think that when we talk about like genres of music, and I feel like there's now a difference between like rap and hip hop for sure, because people are rapping, but hip hop is also a culture. And I feel like there is a bit of like, I don't want to say rules, but like old hip hop heads and hip hop purists would be like, oh, that's not, you feel me? That's not how it was founded. I don't necessarily feel like that, but I do feel like it's a difference. I do. And I'm excited to see where it goes. Cause we shouldn't be limited. And I feel like we're even seeing that with B, right? Like she's,
what do you think about the country?
I love it.
Do you?
I'm getting my life.
16 Carriages is my jam.
Okay.
But I'm not a country girl, and I'm not about to, just because Beyonce's making country music, I'm not a country girl.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from with that because I'm not really like, I preferred 16 carriages over Texas Hold'em, but I appreciate it if we outside and I hear it. Like, am I like getting crazy in the crib? Like, no, but but I still like it because to the earlier point, like it exemplifies exactly what we're talking about. Let's not limit ourselves, and I feel like that's all that hip hop and rap is evolving to be. It's like, let's not limit ourselves. We see even artists like Thug, like I always think he's so creative the way he plays with his voice, you know what I mean? And even from like the Sexy Red to Ice Spice, like they're doing their thing, they're telling their truth, and they're connecting with their audience. And I feel like
That's
that's the
facts.
point.
That's facts. They
That's the
are.
point.
But do you think that, because I always say like we have TikTok rappers nowadays where it's
Mm-hmm.
like you are viral and your music is lit because of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like it's good music
Mm-hmm.
for TikTok. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think without TikTok we still have these artists coming up?
Oh no, because I feel like when you change one variable, the whole equation changes. But it'll
Mhm.
probably be something else. Because even think about it, like Soldier Boy cranked that MySpace. Like it's
That was
always
the
a medium. You
time.
feel me?
That was the era.
It's always a medium that certain people will come out on and take advantage of that platform and be
Mhm.
able to, so I don't think that anything's wrong with that. You just, to me, what I'm learning is you just have to learn how to play the game. Like
Yeah.
you see these artists, like what they're doing with all these mixes and all of these different versions of their records is they're putting more things out on the algorithm so that way it
Mm.
promotes their
The
music. That's why they're, yeah, it's the
algorithm.
algorithm.
Oh, the algorithm.
So that's that I feel like that's the underrated new variable in the equation of being a successful artist is
Mm.
knowing how to work that algorithm.
Yeah.
And that's what we see Ice Spice doing. That's what we see Sexy Red doing. Any artist that's
Facts.
constantly putting out there, getting their,
Yeah.
and that's smart.
They have figured it out.
They
I have
figured
not
it
figured out
out.
this algorithm yet,
Girl, me
girl.
either, girl.
But we gonna
We gonna get
figure
to
it out.
that.
We gonna figure it out.
We gonna get to the algorithms. We gonna figure out. I'm an old school girly. I just want to put my shit out
Hello.
in.
And just let it be.
And let it speak for
But no,
itself.
but we'll get it. But
Yeah.
so what's your goal with rap?
I will be a major artist performing international.
You
Like
are
I
a
see it like
major.
that.
Let's say that you
Listen,
are.
listen,
I
man,
am.
I am.
Yes.
I am a major
Okay.
artist performing internationally, working, doing my thing. Like my shows, you have to come to one of my shows.
I would love to.
Because that's when you really get the Madison Star experience.
Let me know your next one.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
love to
love for you to
come.
come. Like I feel I just continue to see myself growing. I'm working on my project, and honestly, it's day by day. I'm giving God room to surprise me.
Mhm.
Like I got my next project. I'm in different pockets, and I'm writing
Mhm.
about different things, and I'm evolving, and I'm learning, and I'm loving that process.
Good.
So I'm just staying true to that right now.
Good.
And however it happens is how it happens. But I know I'll be big.
Yes, you will. Oh, I'm so excited for you. But hold
Thank
on, you're
you.
a doula too?
Yeah.
Please tell me a little bit about that because I honestly have always wanted to be a doula.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so being a doula, I'll tell you like how I got into it.
Yes.
So even before I left for Howard, I thought maybe I'd be like an OBGYN. I had no clue what I wanted to major in high
Girl,
school.
who does at 18?
Okay. So I always thought that process was so special. And then my uncle was like, oh, you might be a doula. And he was like, Erica Badu's a doula. Do you know what that is? And he taught me what it was. And I always had that in the back of my mind. Then I graduated from Howard and it's 2020. And I'm like, so just like how we all were like angry, like we got to do something community. Like, and I'm like, yo, what is I'm doing this fashion. I hadn't started rapping yet, but I was writing songs. And I was like, but what is my contribution to my community going to be outside of that? And I was like, yo, I gotta become a doula. And like I was like, this knowledge is I'll have it for the rest of my life, and it'll help just like my family, my community, the world.
And so many Black women because these mortality rates
246%.
Oh my Lord, does that
More
scare you?
likely, absolutely. That's why I became one. That's exactly when I had to apply. That's what I included, like, and everything I said: community, family, knowing that I needed to serve. So that to me is my work. Outside of just like my creativity that I do that's really community focused.
So have you delivered babies?
So doulas don't deliver babies,
Okay,
but
girl,
we
check
are.
me. Tell me.
So we don't deliver babies, but we are part of the process. So I like to get with my my mothers really early so that we can start focusing on their health and preparing them for birth and giving them the knowledge and information that they need. And so I also teach them things, teach their partner things, comfort measures, different poses, everything that they need to know. And when we're in the spaces like the hospitals, I advocate for them because when you're in labor, you don't really want to talk. So it's like,
how could you,
girl?
Oh my
so
goodness.
It's like you need, like, you always need, even if like I always say, like your partner, your husband, your boyfriend, whomever, they could be your doula. Like I teach them too, because this is information that we need, especially going into those spaces as Black women where they are negligent, where they are ignorant, where they are racist, and I've experienced it. So I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like, no, it's real, and I'm grateful for the work that I do because it grounds me.
Girl, you are a jack of all trades. I love this, but it all makes sense. Like hearing you talk, like it just all comes together so well. So I can see it. But this is what I need to know now.
Mhm.
So I find that the more successful I become,
Mhm.
the more I intimidate men. How do men react to you and all these
Mm.
accolades and all this experience that
I
you
love
have?
this question. So, a real man is turned on, not intimidated, baby. So that's how you
Speak,
know you got
speak,
your one
speak,
when he's like,
speak.
oh, what more? Okay, let me give
Yes.
you some money to go to the studio. Let me da da da
Yes.
da. When he
A
starts
real
investing,
man.
and when he starts investing into you, you know you got your one. But it's other things too, like integrity, respect, honesty, loyalty, communication. The list goes on. But
Mhm.
I've dealt with that too. But that's how I know I get turned off when I see that you competing with me, or I see that you like,
Like, are you
nigga,
serious?
like
You
what?
supposed to be lifting me up, but
Yeah.
instead you're insecure.
Yeah, because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pour into you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
lift you up. I'm gonna love you. So the moment that I see that we're not equally yoked in that way, that your
Mm.
insecurities like dominate how you deal with relationships,
Mhm.
like because
Mm.
you have to check yourself. We're all human beings. So
Right.
I could do the same thing and you gotta check me too
Right.
if I'm moving from an insecure place, period. But unfortunately, there is a lot of men out there who don't want to hear that, and their whole thing is to dominate and oppress women. When it's
Mhm.
like, boy, there's a price to pay for that. One, two, women, we always gonna run shit
We are.
because we create men. So it's like,
We are the
we are
creators.
the
Hello?
creators.
You
We are
can't
the,
get no closer to God than that.
okay, so you have to like I feel like, and boom, this is to make everything come together in my music. I have For the Girls, my single that came out last year, and I shot the music video in Japan. I have Queen of Fua, and a lot of the music that I make, I'm talking directly to women and I'm
Mm.
uplifting women because I feel that way.
Mm.
Because I feel like now more than ever we have to cut the crap. Like we can't let what's going on in the world today take us out of the light that we're in
Mhm.
and what we need to do in our, and because we're divine. And the moment that we shift, the world is going to shift, and it's going to take some time, and it's not just on us, because I acknowledge that there's very real tools of oppression at play and institutions and everything.
Mhm.
But I'm just hoping that to keep pushing this message, and we will begin to rise, because a woman's place has always been on the throne, and a man needs
Always.
to respect that.
That's the episode. I have nothing else to say. You just wrapped it all up perfectly. But while you're here, I wanted to give you a little gift to thank you for coming.
Summer.
Yes, no, I really appreciate you. It really means a lot that you came from New York for an episode of Summertime.
What, girl? Thank you
Yes.
so
Thank
much.
you.
I
Thank
appreciate you.
Mwah. Thank
Thank
you.
you always have been beautiful inside and out, and I so appreciate this gift.
Always.